It's Christmas here at Yolk Boys headquarters and everywhere else in the world, I guess. But it's extra special because today we're making eggnog. And we're not just making your normal bougie YouTube eggnog. We're making classic 1800s eggnog, where it all started. And this one is gonna impress everybody. So follow me along on this recipe and I'll show you how to make that OG Christmas eggnog. Yolks up and Merry Christmas. I've never actually made homemade eggnog from scratch, but we are the Yolk Boys, and it wouldn't be Christmas season if the Yolk Boys didn't at least make a video on some eggnog. This is gonna be a traditional eggnog, guys. I don't give a shit about cooking your milk to prevent salmonella, or I don't like raw egg whites in my drink. Shut up, pussy. It's 1890, okay, and we're cooking some eggnog by the fire. Grandpa doesn't give a flying fuck about your aversion to raw eggs. Like, get out of here with that shit. We're talking old school bourbon, brandy, milk, heavy cream, our spices, eggs, of course, and then a little bit of vanilla extract. Super traditional, super pure, super whole foods. Paul Saladino would be proud. Without further ado, yolks up. Today I'm only doing a half recipe, so we're using 6 whole eggs. I think the recipe would normally call for 12, but I don't plan on drinking a gallon of eggnog alone tonight, so I'm sticking with 6. First step, separate those yolks from those whites. I'm going through the fingers. Just separate them yolks from them whites. Got a little bit of yolk in there. Once those beautiful golden yolks are in your bowl, it's time to beat it up with some sugar. Today we're just using like 1/3 cup of white sugar because we're doing half the recipe. Remember? Slowly dump as you beat. That's the key. And grab your mixer. You probably don't have one of these fancy Bluetooth wireless mixers that was donated to Yolk Boy headquarters. But take whatever mixer you got, or an old school whisk or whatever, and beat the shit out of these things. That, my friends, is perfect. Yeah, that's honestly perfect. Nice, thick, velvety. I think we're ready for the next step here. So next up, I'm doing our bourbon. You can use rum. You can just use brandy. Today I'm doing a mixture of bourbon and brandy because I like the taste. Next up, brandy. Don't use the cheap stuff. And Santa Claus wouldn't be coming to town if there wasn't a glass of milk involved. Got milk? 90s babies, remember. Today we're doing about 2 cups of whole milk. And lastly, for our liquids, we're doing 1 cup of heavy cream. Got cream. Now, the old school recipe calls for 1 whole nutmeg, or about 3 teaspoons of nutmeg. So instead of doing that, because I'm halving it, I'm gonna halve it again, and I'm gonna do 1 part cinnamon, 1 part nutmeg, because, I mean, those work together perfectly. Nutmeg on its own is fine. That's how they used to do it back in the day. But who doesn't like a little bit of cinnamon in there too, you know what I mean? Plus, it's good for you. So 3/4 teaspoon nutmeg, 3/4 teaspoon cinnamon. And lastly, just for one last just a dash of this vanilla extract, probably around half a teaspoon. And one final mix to get these things blended up before we add in our egg whites. I'd say that's pretty good. Whew, smells nice and noggy, very bourbony, very strong. We're back with our egg whites. And as you can see, I did get a little bit of yolk spillage in there, unfortunately. I ain't gonna cry about it. Take your beater, your mixer, whatever you're doing, whisking, and beat this until it forms a stiff peak. And yolk fans, I know y'all know how to form a stiff peak. I know you do. Yeah, look how beautiful and fluffy that is. Come on. Like the first winter snow. I'm seeing a peak. I don't know about you. Doesn't taste very good. But it is just whipped egg whites, so that's gonna give us our thickness in the drink right there. Right now it's just this sloppy, liquidy, bourbony mess, so I don't think I'm gonna add all of this at first. I'm just gonna fold in part of it and get it to the thickness that I like. But feel free to add all of it if you want to. I mean, it's here. I'm just gonna go ahead and add all of this egg white. I'm not gonna use it anyways, and it looks like it could use the thickness. So you do you, fam. It's looking pretty velvety, pretty rich, pretty thick. I think that's exactly the consistency that I'm looking for right there. Not so thick that it feels like a load going down your throat, but just thick enough to give you that nice Christmas creamy spirit. Beautiful. I'm getting a very strong upfront whiskey smell in my nose with a little bit of nutmeg and cinny, of course. Hopefully it's creamier than that because I am getting a lot of whiskey and brandy on my nose. But if I'm being completely honest, this is my first time ever making eggnog, and it's for you, Yolk fam. Never made it in my life. I've only had the store-bought stuff. So without further ado, I think it's time we give this a try. I mean, it looks pretty good. What do you think? That looks pretty dang good to me. I think this is gonna be really nice. The consistency looks good to me. I'm not a super thick fan myself, but I know some of y'all like them thick. Not me personally, so let's give this a shot. And because you guys are the best, I'm gonna make this look very pretty for you. Little rim job here, little wipe of the glass. And I'm just gonna add a sprinkle of that nutmeg and cinnamon mixture on top of this, just for that last chef's kiss to make it look really pretty, especially for the thumbnail. Ladies and gentlemen, I have created eggnog. Normally you'd give this about 4 hours in the fridge to set up and really let those flavors blend, but I gotta do some now for y'all. So, Merry Christmas and yolks up. Oh, spicy, tasty, creamy. You got hints of brandy in there, hints of whiskey, but that creaminess, and that's nice. That's real nice. Keep the change, you filthy animal.